NationBuilder's Turf Cutter tool allows you to quickly save people from a map area to a list. These lists can be used to print walk sheets and help with planning in-person activities. Map Basics. To view people in your nation on a map, go to the People section and click on Map View. When you view people on a map, everyone with an exact address in their profiles is shown. There are two ways people are displayed on the map: in clusters, groups, and as points, individuals. At the top of the map, you have several options for who you would like displayed. The slider allows you to zoom from a global map to a street view. The filter button allows you to filter in real time. Clusters will reload dynamically. In point view, any turf cut will remain, and the new results will display within the turfs you created. By default, people with exact addresses in their profiles will be displayed on the map. You can change the level of address accuracy required within this drop-down menu. Cluster view. Blue clusters indicate large groups of people on a map. You can click on the number within a cluster to zoom in on that part of the world. The cluster will transform into smaller clusters. If you click an area of the cluster other than the number, a pop-up window will appear, allowing you to save the cluster as a list. These auto tourists can help you quickly coordinate in-person activities. The count of people displayed in clusters is approximate. Once you save a list from a cluster, the number of people on the list may be slightly different than the number reported in map view. Manually cut turf counts are exact. Point view. When it makes sense to display people individually rather than in clusters, point view will appear automatically. This happens when you zoom in on clusters of people. The clusters will turn into points. Based on the number of people in your nation and their locations, clusters may or may not appear on your map. Each point represents a person in your nation. Within the US, the points will have three colors. A red point is a Republican voter, a blue point is a Democratic voter, a gray point is all other people. This includes people with other party affiliations and people who have no party affiliations. Households in the US are indicated as follows. Point is larger and includes the number of people in the household. If everyone in the household is a Republican, the point will be red. If everyone in the household is Democratic, the point will be blue. If the household contains multiple party affiliations, the point will be gray. Outside of the US, all points will be gray and households will be indicated by a larger gray point that includes the number of people who reside at the address. Turf cutter. Turf cutting is a process of defining customized boundaries on a map. Once you cut turf, you can select the people within the turf and save them to a list. This process makes canvassing and phone banking more manageable. When you click the Turf Cut button, it will turn blue and indicate you are in turf cutting mode. If you are in cluster view, you can change the boundaries of the clusters. Click the Clear Turfs button at the bottom of the map and the clusters will disappear. You can define your own turfs, but when you begin, you won't see points on the map. The easiest way to turf cut is to zoom in until you see points. Then, click the Turf Cut button. When you hover over the map, your cursor will look like a cross. Click your mouse once to create the beginning point of the turf, which will display as a white box. Continue clicking to create boundaries of your turf. It can be any shape that makes sense for your needs. The points of people included in the turf will be highlighted in white. Click to connect your last boundary to your starting point. Repeat those steps until your entire map is turf cut. If you begin cutting a turf and decide the shape is incorrect, press the Escape key to cancel that turf. Turn the Turf Cut tool off by clicking the Turf Cut button. It will turn gray. Save your turfs as lists. To do so, click within the turf area and a pop-up will appear. Here you can name the list, provide a slug, and share with other control panel users. Make sure to click Save List. When you use the turf cutter to create your own turf, this pop-up will also give you the option to delete the turf. If you click the Delete Turf button, the turf area you created on the map will disappear and you'll be able to recut the turf. If you click the X at the top right of this pop-up, the turf will remain and a list will not be saved. Turfs created manually as described previously will always have accurate counts of the number of people within the turf. You can filter after defining the turf and the counts will reload, accurately reflecting the exact number of people who match your criteria and are located within the turf.